Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are checking out Fire and Ice from Mori Calliope and Takanashi Kiara. I'm pretty excited to get into this. I've been meaning to check out more stuff from Kiara, and it's been a hot minute since we've checked out anything from Mori. So this seems like the perfect song to check out what both of them sound like together. So let's just jump in 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh. Okay, recognize both Kanauru and teddyloid. Okay, so we're going for a kind of like EDM dance beat with some synths, and then we're going for breathy vocals, then going straight into a projection from Mori. Okay, nice. So we're coming up high projection, getting more breathy, then we lead into the next segment with the breathiness, and then open back up for projection. Layered vocals. Okay, quick transition there. Okay. Okay. Actually, I like the choice of synth bass there, or I suppose bass synth. And then we're going into this like more crisp treble based instrumentation to layer over that synth, which fills out the mix kind of nicely. And we've got like a bit of like wobble to that bass synth, so it's a little like not stuttered, but like it's not a consistent held note. We can hear the oscillation in there. Right. Okay. Okay, big. Okay, so we're going for some very abrupt, quick transitions. So this is like a very much a switch up song, which plays into the juxtaposition, right, with the hot and cold, fire and ice, even visually, right. So we are playing a lot into that juxtaposition with the very dynamic, abrupt switch ups in the song, on the instrumentation side of things. But the vocals itself seem to be treated more as just kind of another instrument in the mix, right? It seems like we're playing a lot more into the instrumentation than we are the vocals, but we still have some good projection. We still have some good voice control in there. Nice. And we kind of dropped the synth focus, especially for this segment, and we're going all in like vocals and just foundational supportive instrumentation here, which is nice. This is more of my preference in terms of music, more of the kind of just letting that instrumentation be a little more acoustic in nature, you know, serving as more of a support role and then taking the spotlight when it needs to, right? But I do like how we're playing into the juxtaposition and the switch off between focuses for the song. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm a big fan of that segment. I actually really like how that segment sounded there. These transitions, I want just a little more for the transitions, but it makes sense for it to be abrupt, you know, playing into the theme of the song. But I do want a little more of for the transitions because it's a very different style, right? We are going into this more synth dance, digitized percussion aesthetic. So I would like a little more build up before we quite hit that. We are getting some beautiful vocals though. Okay. Okay, layered vocals on that. Nice. That was a Mori on the high supportive vocal there. And she had good control there. I remember in one of the previous songs we heard from Mori, I wasn't like a huge fan of her higher notes, But that sounded really good. Even earlier when she was more breathy, you know, when you're a little more breathy, you can kind of get a little more control on those higher notes. But that was pretty well supported from Mori, and she's definitely improved her higher register for sure. Nice. Okay. Okay. So we got 3 tracks now. Switch up the synth. Nice. I really like the bass we use for this. The bass here sounds, especially in contrast with the synth bass from before. In contrast to the synth bass from before, this feels so much more smooth and aesthetic. Though that is more of a preference thing, perhaps, than necessarily a mix addition. We're just kind of switching it up. But I do like this bass a lot more. Okay. Okay, so we've got like that pitched down, suppressed, kind of scratchy vocal layering, which seems a little unnecessary, but it does add a bit of flavor to the mix here. Okay. Synth rise. Okay. 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 Okay, so we seem to be staying fairly consistent for all these choruses. Though for the last one, we definitely got a lot less breathy with the last line. Before, we've been kind of softening at the end of each chorus. But here, we just kind of kept it fairly consistent. Or maybe not necessarily consistent, but the vocals are still pretty well projected, well supported. They're not going too breathy. Oh, sorry. We actually did get a bit breathy, and then we came back up to segue into Kiara's segment here, which I actually like better than before, though I will say having that difference between the choruses before and this final chorus, I'm assuming, I do like this take better. Back into supported vocal. Interesting. On those breathy supportive vocals, we actually had one vocal go through where the other breathy vocal cut off. So we had like 2 vocal tracks that were like breathy supportive, and one went past the other like over and over again, which was kind of nice actually. Kind of added like an extra step into the depth of the mix there. So we have like multiple layers of that supportive aesthetic. I like that. I like that quite a bit. I will say, you know, maybe not my like preferred genre of music, but I enjoy that nonetheless. I will say, you know, I think it's just kind of like a catchy song, and perhaps more of just a made based on the theme of like fire and ice, just kind of made based on that juxtaposition, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. But I just wanted like maybe a little more variation with one of the choruses, or some sort of progression through the song. But this was more of just kind of like a catchy rinse repeat kind of song, which is okay. But not exactly my preference. I would have liked a little bit more, like maybe if we had played more into the brass supportive, because we had that one segment where we got more acoustic, and I really liked that. And I heard some like some emulated brass support there, so I was hoping maybe we would get a little more orchestral support towards the end, maybe make it more grand and majestic instead of through volume or through like a synth rise, which is pretty common, or like, you know, or a cutout and then into like a big synth fill. It would have been fun to have maybe like an orchestral fill, you know, with more acoustic percussion really reverberating throughout the mix for that ending there. Especially when she had her wings out. Like when I saw the wings out, I was like, ooh, if we played into the orchestral percussion more and then had maybe some more brass or string variation. It doesn't need to be like overly acoustic because we are still going for that synth aesthetic. But if we played into that more, just adding a little more of those emulated instruments, I think it could have been really, really cool for at least that last chorus there. It could have been like super grand, like a really big moment. But we didn't quite get that. But that's just a hypothetical, you know, you can go to any song and say, ooh, what if we added this? It would be so much better, right? But just the song, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I will say I'm very curious because I feel like both Mori and Kiara have voices that are very suited to like emotional songs, you know, right? Because like I've heard Mori's End of a Life, and I've heard like Kiara in a retrospective reaction we did not too long ago. I was thinking like they have very unique voices that are very well suited to like acoustic support. So I'm curious, like if they choose what songs they like make, or what exactly the music creation process is, to make their songs, because I'm not sure who's in charge of conceptualizing it. If it's more for like a company thing, or if they get their own voice into it, or if it's a, you know, a cooperation between that. I don't know if they've ever spoken on that. I don't know if any of you guys know about that, but if you do, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I'm quite curious about that. I'm interested to see if this is more of like something that they want to do, like if they're more interested in making like a synth collaboration song, or if maybe it's like this was pitched and then they were like, okay, this is going to be our spin on the synth collaboration song the company wants to do. No, I'm not sure if they've spoken on what exactly the process was for that, but I'm curious if any of you guys know about that. So if you do, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Aside from that, thank you for watching, and feel free to recommend more things for me to check out in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.